Rotted Reviews, and today I have a bit of a special treat for you. But before I get into that, I want to give a big ol' thank you to all of my supporters out there. If you've been watching my channel, you dig my content, please click subscribe. It really helps me out a whole lot. And for those of you that have gone above and beyond and actually signed up for my Patreon, thank you from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me that you support me and you back me to that degree. So, moving on, one of my favorite things is to take something that is meant for kids, but bring it into real world or adult concepts. The original Brothers Grimm fairy tales and how brutal they can get, that kind of thing. Or even the American McGee's Alice series video games, things along that ilk. And I kind of stumbled across something ass backwards. I was browsing through AsianCrush.com and I stumbled across something. We actually just had a watch party on our Patreon for Perfect Blue, and it kind of got me thinking about animated horror films and how I haven't really seen a whole lot of them. And that's where I stumbled across the movie Padak, Swimming to Sea, the 2012 movie that was basically along the premise of what if we took Finding Nemo and put it within the context of a South Korean horror movie. And I was all about that. That was all the description that I needed. Now, it's a bit disingenuous to make any kind of claims about this being a Finding Nemo knockoff. Rather, this is actually kind of just taking a subplot of Finding Nemo, most notably Nemo himself in the fish tank with the starfish and so on and so forth, trying to make their escape to the sea. And that's generally what we're looking at here. We follow the character of Padak, who is a mackerel that was caught and winds up through circumstances and happenstances to find herself in a fish tank outside of a fishmonger/sushi restaurant. And we have the interaction between Padak and the other fish that are in the tank, and she's trying to make her escape and so forth. But instead of having kind of cutesy dialogue and fun, friendly interactions, this is a more brutal take on things. This movie pulls no punches about having this kind of interesting personality dynamic within this tank, while also having the brutal reality of being a fish in this tank in this shop. For fish to be crammed together and not be able to swim or even really breathe that well is kind of just one of the daily occurrences here, as well as finding a fish being taken and slaughtered in front of your eyes so that they can be served as a meal in front of the humans. And if you've ever seen any kind of travel show or anything along those lines, Anthony Bourdain and so forth, where they actually show the fresh caught fish being prepared right there on site at the same place as a restaurant, and they're having their dinner while they're eating the flesh off the fish and its mouth is still moving, that's the kind of grounded reality that we're looking at here as Padak is trying to escape and convince her tank mates that there is life beyond these invisible walls. Just gotta get to it somehow. And also, just the dynamic of the characters within the tank is a bit more of a Watership Down kind of power struggle, and it just goes in some really difficult directions. Honestly, if you have kids and they love Finding Nemo, this is the last movie ever you should ever put in front of their eyeballs. But it is a beautiful movie. The artwork in it is fantastic. The only thing that really kind of looks not just a little bit, but very bad, is the actual figure of the humans themselves. And that might actually be kind of a purposeful thing. But just taking a look at the storyline of the movie itself, as well as the Padak character, this is a somber, melancholy look at the importance of keeping hope alive, as well as the impact that we make long after we've left the fish tank. This movie certainly isn't for everybody, but I do think that it should be viewed more than it has. It doesn't seem to have a whole lot of presence on IMDb, a bit more on Letterboxd, but if I can bring this to the forefront and make a recommendation, this is one that I am happy to make. This is a movie that I would recommend to absolutely anybody that is in the mood for a difficult journey of an animated foreign film. Thank you very much for joining me here today. I look forward to seeing you on my next review. Remember, next time you want to watch a horror movie, first make sure that it's good and rotted.